Okay, so our group is called OutFIT. I'm Camille Hobson.
I'm Liv Lagomarcino.
I'm Isabel Sheehan.
I'm Alina.
I'm Alex.
Yeah. So by using carbon nanotubes that we've taken out of the environment through a series of designs to get rid of carbon emissions, we're able to make nanotubes out of that and create fabric that we can blend with other eco-friendly eco-friendly fabrics and create a high-tech workout line. And so since carbon nanotubes are conductive, we can harness that conductivity to make something kind of like a fitness tracker built into your clothes.
Okay, so we had three main concepts that we focused on during the course of our project. The first one is upcycling carbon emissions from the atmosphere to create a better sense of environmental and body awareness. The second one is using the electrochemical properties of the carbon nanotubes to read and analyze the electrical and physiological signals within the body, such as your heart rate or your breathing rate. And finally, we also focused on automatically uploading the user data to phones via microprocessors also made of carbon within the clothing.
Okay, so these were our inspirations. First is a tower that they have in Beijing by a Dutch artist, which I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name. He created this structure that takes in the smog from the environment and essentially takes the carbon out of them and cleans the air. The other one was the Fitbit, which our project is very similar to, except the Fitbit is just on your wrist and it measures your heart rate. And it's mostly a fitness tracker kind of thing. And then also I'm not going to try and pronounce that name, but his work is pretty much there are 3D printed objects that move and simulate a living organism on the person's body. And then finally, biologic body receptive clothing, which is a type of clothing that has bacteria, a sort of bacteria in it that has pores in the clothing that open and close when you sweat and when you work out and stuff like that. It works like a second skin almost.
Okay, so we started designing our product based off of a couple issues that we saw going on. So one of the main things that we based our product on was the environmental issues that our world faces today. So we all know that there's a lot of problems with pollution and global warming, and actually fashion is the second most contributing factor to pollution, only after oil. And that's a big deal because we all wear clothing, or I'd hope so. And there's trends in these capitalistic countries that are transferring to other countries where you only buy clothing for one season. That way it's cheaper and you can rotate different styles out of your closet faster. But this is why fashion is so harmful to the environment, because you're producing a lot of toxins and chemicals in this fast and cheaper process. And you're also polluting the world by adding more trash to it. So there's companies like Patagonia and Adidas that actually recognize these problems, and we wanted to one-up them and take it a little further. And we'll explain that a little later. But yeah, Adidas actually makes a pair of shoes that's made out of recycled ocean plastics. So that's awesome. And then Patagonia makes a 100% recycled down jacket. So yeah, that's basically self-explanatory. And we also realized that as humans have an increased desire to better understand our health and how our body works. And yeah.
Okay, so OutFIT's overarching goal is kind of the idea of consciousness of one's body and of the environment around you. So pretty much what we would be doing is almost adding a new eco-friendly branch of the carbon cycle. In pre-production, production, and post-production, we would try and do this. In pre-production, we would decrease the volume of harmful carbon emissions. During production, we would create textiles with environmentally friendly fibers. And then post-production, we would revolutionize fast fabrics by recycling materials to create new styles. And then also, one of our other goals is to be responsive to our product would be responsive to the human body by monitoring organs and muscles, and then also it would revolutionize the way people perceive clothing and its purpose.
these are the designs for our collection. All of our clothes are actually really tight fitting so that it can better monitor one's health. And they're all made out of a carbon nanotube and lyocell fabric, so that way it fits snugly but comfortably, and also would be able to carry out the processes that we need it to do.
Okay, so this is pretty much the lifespan of our clothing. First, we trap carbon emissions from the atmosphere from companies like the one in Beijing that made that tower, which they will then make it into the carbon nanotube fibers that we would use. Then we will combine the lyocell and the carbon nanotubes into a fabric, which we make into clothes and sell to the populace. Then when the people that have bought the clothes are done with them, they can send them back and they will be recycled.
Okay, so basically every interaction that's currently happening within your body on the nano level is based on chemical and electric signals. So whether it's like your heartbeat or respiration, your body is constantly sending out these electrical current. So the conductivity of the carbon nanotubes allows us to harness the body's electrical capabilities, and when coupled with the transducer, it allows us to create a biosensor. So amperonic-based biosensing allows us to convert biological processes into electrical impulses, which are then sent to a microprocessor embedded within the clothing itself. So the microchip then wirelessly syncs the data to any health interface on your phone. So for instance, we took Apple Health, and it displays the data collected during the user's athletic activity. But in addition to the athletic activities, OutFIT biosensors can analyze electromagnetic fields throughout the whole body and can identify any health abnormalities.
So once a user is done with the clothing that they're wearing, say that the product is no longer in style or if it doesn't fit anymore, to reduce the pollution of fast fashion, we actually have a program where the customer can send back in their clothing to be upcycled into something different. And we're able to do this because carbon nanotubes conduct electrical current. So with the program that we have, we would be able to practically shape-shift the clothing. So to make a tank top into a t-shirt or a pair of leggings into shorts. So that way you reduce the amount of fashion pollution that we have, and the customer can essentially be like a customer of our company for life.
So pretty much the impact our company would aim to have is an increased awareness of the environment and one's body. Also, we intend to help streamline activity tracking and revolutionize health monitoring. And it would just change the perception as a whole of consumerism.
So yeah, in the future, we hope that our technology inspires more interest in environmentally friendly brands, and also creates like more like health conscious public, because right now health is a big issue, and obviously in our culture. But yeah, so this could also lead to less pollution in the fashion industry, and like just make people want to change their ways so that their brands become more attractive to people who are seeking more eco-friendly options. And this also just leads us to the questions like, how will the fashion industry react? Like, and will the brands we know stick around and change their ways, or just kind of die out? And how will we make a product like ours accessible to everyone? Because obviously something like this would probably end up being somewhat expensive. And will biosensing become integrated into all types of clothing to help people keep track of like their activity? And can our concept even cause a change in the healthcare industry and doctor-patient interaction? Yep.